So it looks like the Fantastic Four is going to be a little bit different than we thought they were going to be in the MCU. I'm not speaking only of the movie in general, but the actual family. From what we've heard, the Fantastic Four film is going to be really interesting, especially if you consider the fact that it's coming in before Avengers Secret Wars, and Secret Wars is supposed to give us a soft reboot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So the movie was already very interesting. However, we have learned some new details about the film that make it even more interesting. And in fact, if these reports are true, then that means Marvel is about to introduce some characters who are going to be complete game changers for the MCU. In fact, the Fantastic Four film is going to introduce many game-changing characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, the Fantastic Four team themselves are a game changer, but the villains and other side characters that they're going to introduce could be equally as important and exciting. So we'll break down these new reports, talk about the characters coming in the Fantastic Four, talk about the cast, and talk about when to expect our first look from the Fantastic Four film. So if you're new, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest Fantastic Four news. And if you subscribe and leave a comment, you're automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox Series X, a PS5, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. The winner gets to pick one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. So right away, the first piece of news about the Fantastic Four, which should get fans excited, is that it looks like the film is going to begin production and filming and everything January 15th of 2024. That is less than 2 months away, which means several different things. One, it means that we should have the cast for the Fantastic Four relatively soon, because here's the thing. Marvel Studios knows that once they begin production and they begin filming, people are going to talk and paparazzi are going to take photos. So ultimately what that means is the second they begin filming, we're going to know who the cast of the Fantastic Four is. There's going to be leaks. There are so many people who work on sets and information just gets out. Plus, like I mentioned, you have paparazzi companies who literally their entire jobs are to try and take photos of characters on sets. That way they can sell them or put them online or both. We always get set photos. Even with Spiderman No Way Home, which was all filmed mostly inside, we still got sneaked photos of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland on set. So Marvel Studios is going to want to beat the paparazzi and the leaks for the reveal of the Fantastic Four cast. So we should be getting that relatively soon, hopefully within a month. And director Matt Shakman has already stated he's really eager to tell us. And since the strikes just ended, the official cast is probably almost locked in. If you haven't heard, Pedro Pascal seems to be confirmed to be playing Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic. Vanessa Kirby is supposedly going to be playing Sue Storm, and the rest we don't actually know yet. However, we do know about the villain, or I should say villains, and 2 other really interesting characters reportedly coming to the movie. The first one, and you've most likely heard about this, is Galactus. From what we've heard, 2 actors are currently in the running to play the voice of Galactus. We're not sure if the entire character of Galactus is going to be CGI, or if they'll use the face of one of these actors for the face of Galactus and simply put the helmet on him, but we've heard that 2 actors are in the running, and those actors are Antonio Banderas and Javier Bardem. I like both actors, but I think I'd lean more towards Antonio Banderas, but let me know what you think about these 2 choices in the comments down below. Then there is reportedly going to be a big change to one of the most iconic heralds of Galactus and Marvel characters out there, the Silver Surfer. According to a couple of different insiders, the Silver Surfer in the MCU might be a female, with the recent report coming from Jeff Snyder, who simply said, and yes, you can expect to see a female Silver Surfer. And before we get talking about how this could be a variant, the answer to that is yes and no. And if you're mad at the Silver Surfer possibly being a woman in the movie, this might help a little bit. The Fantastic Four movie is reportedly going to be set in a different universe than the 616 main MCU universe. We've talked about this a lot on the channel, so I won't spend too much time on it, but basically, from what we've heard and know, the Fantastic Four, by the end of their film, will actually lose to Galactus, but the TVA will then show up and then take the Fantastic Four team away to be able to save them and get them ready for the multiversal war and fight against Kang the Conqueror, which of course is going to come in Secret Wars. This means that when the Fantastic Four are in our main MCU timeline after the reboot, we could have another Galactus and another Silver Surfer who is actually a male like he is in the comics. I actually have to say I am kind of tired of the gender swapping just to do it, especially with an iconic character like the Silver Surfer. But hey, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. And like I said, we still have 2 other crazy interesting characters to talk about in this video. But first, big thank you to Highland Titles for sponsoring this video. Before we leap back into the world of superpowers, I've got something truly extraordinary for our noble listeners. Imagine that you, yes you, can become a lord or lady for just $30. Buying a plot of land from HighlandTitles.com will allow you to make use of a Scottish tradition in which landowners are given a courtesy title. With more than 15,000 5-star reviews, the Highland Titles gift pack is an incredibly popular gift, and the Highland Titles app, available from the app and Play stores, is a new addition that allows you to explore a 3D replica of the land. Choose the location of your plot and decorate it using augmented reality. Embrace the majesty, as every purchase helps to conserve the awe-inspiring, heroic beauty of the Scottish wilderness. You can soar into the world of nobility, my friends, by visiting HighlandTitles.com and become a lord or lady today. Use the discount code COSMIC to receive 25% off your order. That's HighlandTitles.com and use code COSMIC. So these 2 other characters are actually going to be a part of the Fantastic Four family, and I mean that very literally, because the 2 characters that are rumored to be appearing in the Fantastic Four film are the son and daughter of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, Franklin and Valeria Richards. 2 incredibly important and powerful characters. And the game changer in the MCU is Franklin Richards. Franklin is literally one of the most OP characters in Marvel history ever. You're talking about a character who at one point in time resurrected Galactus and used him as his puppet. Literally, he was using Galactus to do his own will, and Galactus simply obeyed and did what he was told. His character basically goes on to become a god, and according to history of the Marvel Universe, Franklin Richards is supposed to survive the end of his universe and pass on to the next, like Galactus has done. This character is seriously OP, but there could be a very, very specific reason that Marvel Studios is bringing this character into the MCU. And that reason is, at one point, Franklin Richards literally restores the multiverse. In the comics, the multiverse literally collapses due to the incursion crisis, but Franklin Richards uses his godlike abilities to help restore it. And this could actually be how the Fantastic Four come from another universe, but then after Secret Wars end up in our main universe. If it's Reed Richards and Franklin Richards restoring the multiverse at the end of Secret Wars, it would make sense that they would end up in our main timeline, especially if their universe gets completely and fully destroyed. We are assuming that not every universe is going to be able to be brought back to life or restored, but only some will remain after the events of Secret Wars. It's made very clear by Loki that universes or timelines can be completely and permanently destroyed. But at the same time, we saw Loki restore the multiverse. So most likely something pretty similar is going to happen at the end. But don't bat your eye at Valeria Richards either, because she is still one of the most powerful characters out there. She was originally Valeria Von Doom, but ultimately her story in Marvel Comics leads her to be the daughter of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, and the sister of Franklin Richards. She has amazing abilities. One, she is a genius, much like her father. She has superhuman strength, she has invulnerability, also invisibility, and she can time travel. She can create a force field, much like her mother, and she can use telekinesis to a certain level as well. So these 2 characters, who are going to be brought into the Fantastic Four movie, reportedly are going to be game changers. This report came from the Geeky Cast, so take it with a grain of salt, but they state, according to someone who recently reached out, there is talks of casting Franklin and Valeria Richards. 2 names have popped up for Franklin and 2 for Valeria. It seems they are going for a little older and are working around Pedro Pascal if this is true. So if these 2 characters enter the MCU in the Fantastic Four film, they're not going to be infants, but they're going to be a little bit older, perhaps teenagers. And if it's anything like the comics, that means they're already going to be 2 of the most powerful characters in the MCU. So a lot to look forward to with the Fantastic Four, but let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things Fantastic Four in the MCU. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.